Well, I'm struck with each one of these things that we're bringing. Any one of these, there's probably 7 dissertations behind it.
We're spinning on this thing in the middle of we can't even explain. Wake up to the insanity and the beauty of it.
When you're being curious about the world, when those moments come that you feel unmoored and unsure because you can't see the shore anymore, or it's very, very faint, that's by design. That's necessary.
You picked a couple weird ones in a row, man. I don't know what we're looking at here. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Something about having new eyes, new perspective. I want to see the world in a new way and have fresh perspective and stay curious. And I think there's a lot of people that are in that space where you kind of grow up and forget how wonderful things are.
Agreed. I love this at the implication for me is that the goodness and things to see are already there. You just have to find them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's behind some of what he's saying. It's not like you have to create new things, new goodnesses to see. It's like you just have to know how to find them because they're there already. I love that.
We want to talk specifically to people who may be in the middle of a pivot, or it might be somebody who's a little burned out or who has lost the curiosity of the thing that they used to love to do. I find myself in that place often where I have to just remind myself. And I think this happens for creatives. I think it happens for people that are in organizations and got the job that they really wanted. And it used to have like this spark and now it kind of feels like drudgery. And I know you work with some of those people too. But just talk about the people that you're hoping that this also resonates with, because I think that's important as we jump in.
I think the word forgotten is crucial. It's meaningful, and words matter. And the difference between forgetting what the world is like versus having to recreate a world that you wish was there, I think is seismic, right? And I think the reason that we enjoy talking to each other are those defaults that we each have. It's a remembering rather than a creation, right? I forgot, I got older and I saw some hard things and have been through some sad things. So much so, in fact, that it's tempting to believe that the world or us or each other or anything was ever good to begin with, right? And that's just a tale as old as time, that enough can happen that we are tempted to believe the world is not good anymore.
Yeah.
And all the Center for Play and Exploration does basically is like remind people of things. And I love that. I think selfishly, because it takes all the onus. I don't have to create goodness for people. There's no manufacturing, there's no catch, there's no pitch really, other than, hey, you remember, like kind of I think what we're going to do today, surprising each other with things. Hey, did you know that and it's literally endless, and that
everywhere.
Yeah, nowhere is it not true.
Yeah.
And that to me is remembering. That's recalling. That's not creating.
Rediscover is the thing that I constantly was thinking of as we were getting ready for this, is just unearthing what's already there is so important. And I think of that even on, in my 20s, it was like, oh, you're going to, kind of create who you are. Right. Like there's this talk about that. And in the end, it was just like, it's rediscovery. Sure. It's like, there's things embedded internally and in the external world that you just continue to find this embedded goodness in everything.
It's not a risky bet at all. I'm betting that our listeners are just like us, that, I forgot. Oh, right. Cool. Yeah, sure.
Well, and even us talking about it, we're like, I'm sure this is happening to you all the time, right? Yeah. Where it's like, that like it's there, but still you have to remind yourself. Yeah. And like, it doesn't matter who you are, as long, like, the importance of curiosity, and somehow it's like you fade into a sleep and have to be woken up again and be like, no, you can still be curious. Yeah. Like, it's still fun to like look into everything.
Yeah. New eyes synonymous with curiosity, I think, of just, it's a practice, it's like a bit, starts as something you do here and there, and it becomes a habit.
The hope here of like, could we have new eyes leaving this episode, is we're just going to give you and we're going to surprise each other with a bunch. I think we have 30 or more. Just, this was something we thought was awesome. This was something we thought was awesome. And so some of you are going to listen to this on audio, and you're going to immediately need to go to video. The video is going to be on Spotify and on YouTube so you can watch it. And we're just going to pull things up here. You haven't seen mine, and I tried as much as I could. I put the slides together, so I kind of saw, but I have no clue. These the pictures you sent me, I'm like, what the heck am I looking at?
Yeah.
So you start us, and let's jump in here.
Do you know how many kinds of beetle there are in the world?
I'm glad I didn't bring this one up. I have a beetle one later.
You do?
But I don't know.
Gosh.
But I do not actually know how many beetles there are.
Well,
in the
the
world.
coleopterologists listening, the people that study beetles and devote their lives to this, this was a jumping off point for me in starting the center. I was mad at the prospect that the world was a really good place. I was like, no, it's not. And I was like stamping my foot and throwing things. And I was like, I'll prove it to the proverbial you out there. And remember when encyclopedias and dictionaries were books?
Oh,
remember
beautiful
that?
things.
So I opened one of those.
Yeah.
And I put my finger down and I landed on beetles. And not the band, like the species, the creature. And, I found out that they process detritus and dead things. And it's great. Thank you. I'm so thankful for that because it just would build up over time. And I was just in a very efficient, only what is necessary kind of way of looking at the world, kind of mechanistic almost. And it turns out there are millions of kinds of beetle in the world. And that made me really angry. And then I just started giggling and looking at, do you know how long it takes to count to 1 million?
Yeah.
And there's millions. So coleopterologists, someone out there is naming them. And the reason I show this one is this is kind of a ho-hum, like a common, I probably wouldn't have even have called this a beetle, but the name of this beetle is the aggravation. Because, and it's not because it's like a pest.
Sure.
The person naming it had just had too much. That's, forget it, and and storms out.
Yeah.
Aggravation. Benji's coffee burned my tongue. Benji's coffee leaked today on my cup. There's so much of these that it's frustrating to keep up with them. And you imagine the person aggravation and leaves early because they're mad. And as they walk out their office, there's a line out their door. People
yep.
I
Can you name this one too?
Yeah. No, and they just leave. So there's millions of a kind of thing in the world of which only one is necessary. And I just come on.
Once you realize just what you said, this happened to me with several of the things that are on our list today. It's think about, you could just have one kind of beetle. Even if it was just about function, then it doesn't matter really what they look like. You don't have to be curious about why they're all different sizes and shapes and all. Some people are just straight up scared of them, but you can really dig in here and imagine that being your job. You're just going to name beetles for the rest of your life.
Totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
And the idea of unnecessary goodness wrecked my life.
So talk about that for a second before we go to the next one. Unnecessary goodness wrecking your life. It's important to just, and you see it in beetles now. You're seeing it all over the place. And to me, it sounds like you start with an encyclopedia. You're like, well, that's unnecessary, but really cool. And that doesn't make sense. But it's leading you on this path of goodness.
Yeah. And a certain kind, very unnecessary, ridiculous. That's new eyes, I forgot. When I was a kid, I just assumed, I knew that was true about the world. Yeah. But again, we've seen some stuff and we are tempted to forget, but the difference between sort of an efficient, necessary, and that would be okay, right? It'd be great. The world works, it's a machine that works. Great. That's good. But this is a different kind.
Clearly that's not it.
There's something else going on here. This is not necessary. We don't need, it's wasteful. And I think in there is the tease or the catch, I think, for any kindred spirits out there of what kind, I want to live in that kind of world. And it turns out that's exactly the kind of world that we're living in. And then you play with the unnecessary word. It's only unnecessary if you're assuming efficiency, right? Decent order, It's that's okay.
Yep.
But apparently the deeper truth is it almost, according to the standards of the universe, it might be necessary for this kind of beauty and diversity and extravagance. And so the unnecessary word pertaining to goodness is what changed me to quit my job and start the center. So I just wanted to put this picture up
I think unnecessary is really the best lead into this.
there. Oh, lovely.
You know about the desert bloom in Chile?
I have no idea.
Okay, this is one of, if not the hottest desert in the world. And like every 4 to 8 years, they'll just get rain. And then all these flowers will just bloom in the desert.
It rains once every like 8 years.
Mm-hmm. In some parts of this desert, they actually don't have record of it ever raining. So it's that dry. But then when rain does show up, all these seeds are just sitting under the earth, and then they just sprout.
Like
and
they're
then
ready.
Everybody from around the world's like, oh, the desert bloom's happening. They all want to come see it. And there's creatures that actually do end up coming, and like they get vegetation from this and they eat. But again, I'm not a scientist. I'm sure there's like all sorts of science behind this, but it was amazing to me to just think, you don't know when it's going to rain. All of a sudden it does rain, and it becomes this little ecosystem, and then it disappears and it doesn't come back for, another 4 to 8 years. Yeah. So unnecessary, so beautiful. All these different kinds of flowers, some that only show up in this desert, and seeds that have to be able to survive underground.
I didn't know that was possible. A seed could kind of be dormant, or I guess not dead, for that long.
We're doing our best to pick one, or in a couple of these slides I had to do 2 or 3 pictures because I couldn't contain myself. Sure. But go watch like National Geographic's drone shots of this, and you're just like, it just goes on. It's just a desert showing off in color, and it seems so unnecessary, and it's so beautiful. And when you allow the childlike awe to come out of you and just be like, this desert is showing off right now, that no one's like, yes, we need flowers in the desert. There's no one living out there. But it's just, yep. And beauty is out here too.
And then I love that it can go that long without nutrient or without like watering. No, just whenever I'm ready.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
Pop. Wow. Are they always that color? Do you know?
No, they have a bunch of different colors, but I thought this
Shame
was...
on me. Sorry.
Yeah, no. It's a good assumption. Of course, they're always purple. No, they have a bunch of different colors. So yeah.
Love it.
Yep. All right. Next.
Oh goodness. Warn me about these. Do you know about the Mariana Trench?
I do know about the Mariana Trench.
Do you know how deep the Mariana Trench is?
All I know is it's deep, Dave.
That's
all I
deep,
know.
Capital D deep. It's in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
It is the deepest place on the planet. It is deeper than Everest is tall. So it's 7.
Turn Everest upside down.
Yep. And the trench is deeper. You could fit Everest in the trench.
Wow.
And I love and hate thinking about the Mariana Trench because it scares me a little bit. And there's this idea that goodness is kind of like forceful. It's like, ooh, I respect it. Like, it's not just like, yay, goodness. This is like, and I look at this thing looking at me, and I'm like,
is it looking at us? Because I can't tell what's going on.
I mean, this situation here, is he like moaning? I think that's a nose.
Yeah, it does.
This is called a threadtail.
Okay.
And it's in the Mariana Trench, among countless other things that we know of. I have to clarify with that because we've only been there a few times, because it's incredibly dangerous and difficult to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no light. It's so deep that light can't get there.
Probably crushing the submarines.
And the pressure, every time that we tried until it worked, it was just decimating whatever we built. So a couple times we've been down there, and every time we go, we see things like this.
One of the things, and this is a really good one to mention this on, as you start to just look at nature, I don't know if this is my naivety or what, but you just kind of go, it's 2025. We've explored all the stuff.
Exactly.
Like we know all the places, and I'm not going to give away one of mine too early here, but there's a couple things that I'm like, no, this is like right now. Yeah. Like new species of beetles right now.
Every day. Today.
Parts of this trench where you're like, yeah, no, in your lifetime, they will have not explored this. And people talk about how even our oceans compared to space, like we have observed so little in our oceans.
We know infinitely more about the moon and Mars than we do about the floor of our own ocean. Most conservative oceanographers would say 95% of the ocean floor is undiscovered in 2025. That's kind of what I mean about these new eyes. That the fact that that's true is not you and I kind of hoping it's true or creating a facade of that and then going over there and like, I don't know, pretending or something. It's real, you know. And if we send something down there and start looking, there is no guarantee about what's around the corner.
I want to give you another ocean one since
do it.
it's next, and then I want to ask you a question. But do you know what this is?
Oh, is that coral?
This is a lake at the bottom of an ocean.
Wait, so like a crater, and there's what?
So there's water up here.
Should we call it a lake in the ocean?
There's water, and then there's water.
Water in the water.
Yes.
Tell me more.
It's called a brine pool. And this is the ones that I took these pictures from. This is the Gulf of Mexico. I don't want to get these wrong. It's not like I'm an expert in this, but so I wrote some notes. 3 to 8 times saltier than the rest of the ocean.
In here?
In here. So once you're in this lake, it's like a death trap.
Yeah.
So
right.
on the sides, on these edges, life. Teeming with life because it creates an ecosystem where all of this, like just fish and crabs and whatever, they hang out. But if you go in it, the salt, like, what is that called? It's just like it freezes them or calcifies them.
Gosh.
So you fall in and you don't get out fast enough. And like there's a crab that's looks like a living crab that's there for 80 years.
Holy cow.
When I wrote this down, I said that they become pickled, preserved for centuries.
I like
pickled is probably
it's
better.
a pickle pool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the rim of this is like it's perfect for life, and it's like it's necessary. So everything hangs out there, but like predators are like waiting
for somebody
or
to
pushing
fall
them in, and then like that's how they get their food. So
how big is this? What are we talking here? Do you know?
I don't know how big it is.
For more curiosity,
but there is go dig into brine pools because lakes at the bottom of the ocean 3 to 8 times saltier than the rest of the ocean. Wow. And they had funny nicknames for it. I think I might have wrote that in here. Yeah, the hot tub of death, the toxic death trap. So if you want to talk about this is just
go
fun.
on vacation, to the pickle pool.
Okay, here's my question based on the last one that you mentioned, and then even something like this. So people are listening and they're like, okay, we get it. There's tons of different species. There's all stuff, but to say like I'm not interested in the ocean. So why does it matter that there's all these things in the ocean? You know what I mean? Like, Dave, talk us through how, as you started to realize, like, you're not giving your life to beetles, but you start realizing there's millions of types of beetles, or this kind of stuff's going on at the bottom of the ocean, and you are so almost like clueless, but then being brought into this wonder and awe. What does it do internally to you to be like, the way that you see the world?
The more truly grounding ourselves in reality that we can, I think, the better. But that implies, or that leaves unanswered, is reality good or not, right? So it's a huge risk. I mean, so asking these kind of existential questions, this is like meaning of life kinds of questions. Is the world good or not? The sort of so what I think I hear you asking about this and what it's done to me was it categorically, seismically shifted my life, both the trajectory of it and the quality of it, to begin settling the question: is the world a good place or a bad place? Because I want to be living in some kind of truth or actuality or authenticity, or I want to be in the real world, right? Unless the world is awful, right, and devoid of good, then I totally understand, and we all would totally understand, numbing out and just completely biding our time or hurting ourselves or trying to end our lives. So I recognize what a seismic, weighty question that is. But and it started with the beetle, and it's going to keep going until we run out of slides, and we could do this all day. What that says to me is that the world is infinitely good and growing every day. And that gives me something to stand on that sparks love and goodness and hope and expectation and curiosity and fascination. And that was about 10, 12 years ago that happened. And I have yet to find an area of my life that it has not benefited. Education, health, relationships, work. I mean, pick something. And if the world is good and full of hidden goodness to be discovered, then to the second part of, I think, what your question is, why should someone care about the ocean? If they don't, move on.
Yeah, find the next thing.
Throw a rock and wherever it lands, this is going to be true.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah.
You can start with yourself. You can start with, why do I always do?
Oh, it's internal and it's external. It's one of my favorite things to say, is because you'll see some people that like they just want to explore their internal world. Yeah, go as deep as you want. It's endless.
You will never hit the end of it.
Yeah.
And a quick word there, never hitting the end. I recognize that at first that can sound overwhelming. Like there's so much out there you'll never get to it all. That can be overwhelming and discouraging. But I would invite you and anyone listening instead to consider that as endlessly, unbearably exciting. You will never find all the goodness there is to find in yourself or the outside world or the cosmos. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. As adults, I hate to say it this way, but it feels like we have to be reconvinced back into.
You mean like remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already said it, but
reconvinced is kind of.
I say reconvinced because it can feel so futile at the beginning of the exploration. You can feel guilty for going down a black hole about brine pools. What am I doing with my time yesterday? Sitting at this coffee shop, almost embarrassed when someone's looking over my shoulder and I'm looking up different types of caterpillars or something, right? But then it takes me to this place of why are we like here? And you start to ask these big questions. And I think part of why you have to remember that this is kind of the point is because when you're a kid and you ask the big questions, none of the adults have perfect answers. Yeah. They all are like, well, we're not even fully sure. We can't wrap our heads around this endless thing. So we don't even fully know what to say. Religion can give you answers or philosophy gives you answers, but it still, for millennia, has left people going, well, is it good or is it bad? And having these debates and having these questions. And so I think when we're kids, we ask those questions with curiosity and eyes wide wonder. And then you grow up and it's like, I might never get the perfect answer. Yeah. And so we settle for not exploring, not knowing. And I put myself in that camp as well, where if I'm having a pretty pessimistic outlook on life or I'm just down and out on some things, I kind of close myself off to this stuff. And I think the easiest way into remembering is not being like, hey, the world is good. It's like, is this interesting to you? Okay, not? Okay, sweet. Dave, what about this?
Well played. This is a dessert made by Dinara Kosko. She is a Ukrainian architect who decided, I think several years ago, to start using her architecture molds to make desserts.
Wow.
So Dinara Kosko, just get lost in what she's doing. So this is outside of sort of the creature world and into kind of culture and taste. She's a former architect who applies her skills and her literal molds and 3D printing to dessert. Not just food, dessert. And they're breathtaking. And they're flipping delicious.
How did you stumble into this?
I don't know. Just being curious.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I'll tell you, I'm willing to go as deep as you want on desserts.
You old rattlesnake here.
I love this one. All right. Sticking with culture here. Yeah. Do you know any of these 3 shows or movies?
Is that The Matrix?
That's Daredevil.
Oh, and that's 1917.
Yep. This is the newest one of the 3. This is Adolescence. This is on Netflix.
Yeah.
So this was a 4-part series. They all did long shots.
Oh, yeah.
So this is probably the most famous scene in Daredevil. It's like, I don't know how long it is. I want to say it's almost like 6 minutes long. It's the best fight scene, and it's all one shot. Adolescence. Well, I'll save this one for last. 1917. I think they went up to like maybe 9 minutes, and then they would slice things, but the runtime of the shots is wildly longer than you would typically do. And they literally created the map of how they were going to film it. They built the bunker to know where the camera guy was going to have to stand. And so if you watch the behind the scenes of how they filmed 1917, the thing that it does for me with film is, you think that you are being like creative, like you're tinkering with something, tinker at that level. Not in like a guilty way, but like in a, no, you can
there's more
try harder. Yeah. You can dig deeper because the amount of work. So, and then Adolescence, This show came out recently. It's a 4-part series. Every episode, first off, it takes on a very hard topic. So it's not like it's light and easy. They did every episode in one shot. And so the last episode, they're driving in a car. They had to literally, like, he walks in the house. They replace the car with a car that has like a go-kart on top so the guy can like drive it instead of him driving.
Right.
The behind the scenes is just so wild. And you're like, the actors had to be perfect emotionally in the moment to say, we don't get another take. Yeah. And then they have to, at one point, attach the camera to a drone that flies over, and it's all happening in one shot. So not only is the acting and the topic that it's covering really interesting and sensitive and thoughtful, but then the camera work to make the show.
Yeah.
So anyway,
things you have to think of if you're going to do a single shot.
That's exactly it.
That's what I'm struck by.
One of the things I jotted down here is complexity shows expertise. And then creativity thrives on limitations and boundaries, which is so funny because we're going, wow, look, you could never run out. Dig here and you could dig forever. And I'm going, yeah, and with creativity, what's interesting is go, okay, well, just limit Dave and I to one room for 4 hours, right. And what are we going to record together? Right. And somehow even that, the limitations of it, create something beautiful. Right. All right, what are we looking at?
This is live footage. Well, it was live. Actual footage, I guess is the better word. From a moving comet. This is Comet 67P. And
great name.
Put something on, landed on it, I guess Armageddon style. And this is footage from a comet hurtling through space.
It looks like where the White Walkers lived.
I mean, it is snowy, but I don't think it's snow. And I don't know that all of that happening is not organic. Mm-hmm. Like I think some of those could be live or it could be dust or I get sort of tranced into this.
Where?
I'm looking at
how far away do you know?
Oh, hundreds of thousands of miles. And I don't know how they, again, curiosity. Like peek, go find out. You know, how did they land on this? You remember Armageddon? Did you see?
I've seen Armageddon. Yeah. Great movie.
They land on a comet and blow it up from the inside. So did they use the movie to figure out how? I don't know. Or did this come first and then they made the movie? Like,
well, even just remembering that when we first landed on the moon, how impossible that seems because of where we were at with the internet. Or
anything,
like we were not in a place where you would think that we could land on the moon. And some people think we didn't land on the moon.
This is moving at an incredibly high speed, and we landed on it and took pictures and movies from what I mean. I guess there's a what am I feeling when I see this? It's scary. It's enticing. Like what? I mean, look at those crags and valleys, and this is a rock hurtling through space. In my imagination, I could see where and then someone goes
Alien
and finds out. Yeah, something kind of passes by.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just could look at this for a long time. Whoa.
You know what this is?
I do not.
All right, I want to get the name right. The Son Dung Cave in Vietnam. Earlier, we were talking about things that kind of we just stumble into. So in 1991, a farmer stumbles to the edge of this cave. Doesn't even go in. This thing wasn't fully explored till what year? 2009.
Oh, wow.
This is one of the biggest caves in the world. It has its own weather system. It has clouds inside of it.
No.
It has its own ecosystem. So there's plants in here and bugs in here that exist nowhere else. And because of the way that the light comes in, that's what helps create the ecosystem is like it can actually have vegetation because there's
like
light in some portions of it.
Photosynthesis is happening.
Yes. There's eyeless fish in there. New insects that completely adapted to being in the dark. Some people think this is only one chamber, but it's like way, way big. Right now, only 1,000 people can go in this per year because they're trying to like preserve it and whatever, explore it. But insane. It's again, one of the largest cave systems in the world.
It's in Vietnam.
It's in Vietnam. I love this one. I love a few of the ones we're mentioning from nature because I'm going to use the word pointless. When I think from just a practical, pragmatic perspective, and I go, no one even knew about this till 1991.
Right.
And some people that listen to this believe in God. Other people maybe don't. This cave was showing off. So let's just use God language for a second. God was showing off in a cave for, let's call it, millions of years.
Let's just go with millions. Yeah. And no one knew.
No one knew.
Yeah. Yeah. So this makes me think of the Mariana Trench. I remember being struck with that as I went page after page of what's down there. And I'm like, I would put this on a billboard. Like, this is spectacular. And the creator hides it.
Yeah. Embedded.
Yeah. It's hidden. And it's like, that's gooder, apparently, you know? And what does it say about like my pride or my vanity or my ego? That I'm like, oh, I would like show this off. And the creator is like, I would do a little differently. It seems to me more good to hide something and encourage your children to find it than it is to just give them everything in one day.
So I think the immediate pushback on that is going to be, yeah, but what about all of the like weird or poisonous and we can go down that. I think we should go down that at some point, but I would say, yeah, overall, I think I agree. And there's something about like even I don't understand the mystery that makes it intriguing. Like if it was the scale of it was large, but we understood it and there's no mystery left to explore or there's no digging to go do. I just, you realize that somehow that flavor of like, I don't understand and the mystery of it is what makes it intriguing, is what makes you lean in. In relationship, when I don't think I fully know you, our relationship functions better. Yeah. And there's something to, this thing, I got to go understand this part. All right, let's go to a quote. This was a quote that you picked.
This is from Gide, who's a French novelist. He also got in a lot of trouble with the law.
Okay.
But this quote, one does not discover new lands, sort of your point of discovery, without consenting to lose sight for a very long time of the shore. I love and have always loved this from the time I read it. The assumption, the piece that he has made, obviously, with discovery requires leaving something known to go find what you're pretty sure is out there, but you're not sure. And that moment of, sort of the constant, like, grounding yourself, like, I'm still okay because I can see the shore. And he's like, at some point, you have to let. And I just love that the naming of that sort of gives a permission and no, it's okay. It's actually required. Because, again, we'll talk, I think, in subsequent episodes about fear. Because we're talking about the unknown a lot right now. And it just needs to be said, like, that can be a fearful, anxiety-ridden.
I think the older you get, the scarier that is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, in a lot of ways, you feel like, well, my reputation's on the line. If I give my life to playing and exploring in this field, like, what if I picked the wrong field? You start to feel this pressure. But there's something about the curiosity in that's going, but also you want to go deep on that thing. The only way to do it is to go deep enough that you can't see where you were before.
Yep. And there's a permission here. There's an expectation here. There's someone has done this before me and it's okay. Like they're like, no, so this is how this goes. When you're exploring, when you're innovating, when you're being curious about the world, when those moments come that you feel unmoored and unsure because you can't see the shore anymore or it's very, very faint.
Yep.
It's like, no, that's by design. That's necessary. Physical health and training, stretching muscles, like the idea of pain not necessarily being evil, right? Of like, no, when you're training to run a marathon, the trainer and the doctor and your surgeon and all the team will say, and it's going right about here, you're going to feel this searing pain in your side. You're not dying. It's okay. You can stop if you want, but keep going. You're okay. That's what this is. I'm going to consent. I sign off. I agree. I'm going to lose sight. And I love that he put between those commas for a very long time.
Yep. That's probably the best part of that quote.
You're like,
for a very long time.
I'm okay. Oh, okay. When that feeling comes, I was expecting it. This is normal. This is happy. This is safe. These feelings do not mean that I'm wrong.
Yeah. It's good. It's really good. All right.
What?
So this is a
Is
wrinkled.
that a Costco dessert?
Yeah, that would be amazing. We picked the same lady. This is just another one of her desserts.
Oh, amazing.
This is a wrinkled peach mushroom.
Sure, of course it is.
Only grows in specific kinds of hardwood. And do you know how many types of mushrooms there are?
Wait, this is a mushroom or a peach?
A mushroom. It's called a peach mushroom.
How many kinds of mushroom there are?
Yeah.
Oh. I should add zeros probably to the
somewhere between 2 and 4 million species. And only 150,000 have been formally described by science.
Well, somebody's got to get on that.
Yeah.
Wow. Where did you say this is?
It just develops in certain types of hardwood.
Okay.
So it's not a specific location, but scientists aren't totally sure how it reproduces.
I love it. Wow.
I don't even think we need to spend longer on it. It's just like, yep, stare at it. This is one of the coolest mushrooms I've ever seen. It's one of the weirdest by far.
Would you have called this a mushroom when you saw it? I would not. Maybe fungi, I would have said. But.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's, same kind of thing there.
Brains.
Yep. It's the wildest looking thing you ever seen.
Fantastic.
All right. What the heck is this, man? Because you gave me nightmares when I was putting this together.
Granted. Me too. This is a little nod to the Mariana Trench again. This is a microscopic thermal worm. And it lives in vents at the bottom of the ocean, out of which come fluid material. I'm out of my depth here. That is hundreds of degrees Celsius. So if you or I or anything that we would build were to swim over these vents, it would burn in half, and they just live there. Part of me is like, okay. And they look like this. Yeah. So I think this is on a slide, obviously. So I think that it's fair to say that they dyed certain parts of this to see it, but it's not black and white. So I don't know if they got the color right, but I'm just like,
yeah, that's the stuff of nightmares. But it's like, it's nuts. All right, we're back to beetles and bugs.
Thanks, B.
Have you ever heard of Christopher Marley?
No.
Okay, then as a man who went into the encyclopedia and found beetles, I implore you, as soon as we are done recording this, Dave, you need to go look up Christopher Marley. So I was at a museum in Houston. We were not going out of our way to find this. We got to the end of our exploration of this museum. We're on the top floor, and all of a sudden we stumble into a Christopher Marley exhibit. These are all real beetles. He was deathly afraid of bugs. And he said, I'm going to overcome my fear.
Really?
And for 15 years, he started arranging bugs. No. And he has entire artwork that I'm telling you, it's more beautiful than most of the paintings I've seen. And all he's doing is arranging bugs or butterflies or whatever. The videos of him at night, he's like shining this flashlight. He has this huge like drape and like they're just looking at all these bugs that are hitting it. And you're like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But they do all sorts of different shapes and all that, like just beautiful laid out. But these are all real bugs.
Unbelievable. And that it's simultaneously helping him overcome a fear.
Yep.
It's like exponential goodness, multifaceted.
Yep.
It's beautiful on its own. It stands on its own. It's interesting. It's innovative. Oh, and by the way, it's helping him overcome fear and anxiety. Wow. Christopher Marley.
One thing to say, here is probably a good place to do it, is that when you're trying to get this muscle moving again of curiosity and discovery, go to a museum. Just go sit in a museum and like don't care about what exhibits are even in there. Just start reading about Egyptian artifacts or just go stumble into a Christopher Marley's work and you're like, though it's just bigger. It's in culture is just way cooler and people are doing things that they're breaking the rules, right? Like bugs are, to him, bugs are supposed to be scary. Bugs are not supposed to be cool or definitely not art, and we definitely aren't going to stare at them. And like I could look at, I wish we had more time and just could look at a bunch of the pictures he's done, but.
Well, I'm struck with each one of these things that we're bringing, again, tip of the iceberg, like jumping off points, Any one of these, there's probably 7 dissertations behind it, Or like, here's the next month of my life.
Why I wanted to even do this with you, Dave, is to me, this is invitation.
Yeah.
It's you've
beautiful.
been invited to this party the whole time. Let me remind you that you are invited.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I put this in my journal. I put all these notes that we're talking about in my journal because I'm like, I kind of want to be able to flip back to this when I don't feel curious. Because it's like, no, this is what's true. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You picked a couple weird ones in a row, man. I don't know what we're looking at here.
I love not knowing what's coming.
We're about to be censored by YouTube or something.
This is the tardigrade. This is unbelievable. I mean, so many of these just kind of, I feel like they invite you in and then you look around and you're like, hey, do I want to move on?
Do we need to say anything else about this thing? What?
It's called a tardigrade, also known as the water bear.
How small?
It's not quite microscopic, but it's really tough to see with the naked eye. So you need some kind of augmentation.
That is the craziest looking thing I've ever seen.
I mean, there's many parts of the world in the like natural, organic world that make me think of aliens and space and all that, and this might be near the top. I mean,
oh yeah, someone should definitely in their next sci-fi movie just blow this up to the size of like an elephant or something.
If you're
make
curious,
that the villain.
I think they have some cameos in Ant-Man and the Wasp because they go to the quantum realm. These things are almost indestructible, it turns out. They've been sent to space and back. I think they've been in outer space like as themselves with no protection, and they're kind of, well, they brush off all 18 of their shoulders and they're like, what
the heck is this called?
Tardigrade.
Tardigrade. All right, this one can be fast, but I just have to say, how often do we take for granted how weird wind is?
Oh, thank you. Good call.
Just this invisible force.
What is it? Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, like you can scientifically, Neil deGrasse Tyson will explain to you what wind is.
Temperature, maybe.
There's lots of things going on, but the fact that we're saying all these factors combine into when you stand outside and a gust of wind hits, this invisible force moves your hair or knocks over trees or breaks an umbrella. Like, I just... Again, if we're talking about practically speaking, maybe this is the one we all leave with because you're not going to see a tardigrade or whatever. You're not going to see that today, but you are going to go outside and get hit with a gust of wind, and you're like, yeah, that's an invitation. Like, what the heck is this invisible force that's just smacking me in the face right now?
Oh, it's so good. No one's ever seen it, and everyone just assumes like, oh yeah, but never seen it. It's just
wind.
Never captured it. No. Don't know quite what it is. Maybe Neil deGrasse does, but like, yeah.
And okay, he can explain it, but like, tell me where the wind's gonna blow. You know what I mean?
And is there a time when a young human experiences it for the first time and is like, what the? And looks around and everyone's like, you know, we've just seen it and we've felt it so many times. We're just like, we've made our peace with it, but we still have no clue what it is.
I did look up. I wanted to know the fastest wind. It was 254 miles an hour. So. All right, I wanted to give another quote because I thought this was so good now that we've looked at so many play things. And Alan Watts sometimes for me just sums things up really well. So I picked two, but he said, we thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a serious purpose at the end, but we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing. And you were supposed to sing or to play or to dance while the music was being played. And then he said, this is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. Growing up overseas, and I know you spent some time as well, other cultures understand this a lot better than us. We really start to identify with life as a journey instead of there being this invitation to dance or this invitation to play. I think taking yourself so seriously that you're like, well, I have to do this. Or there's a lot of talk about like legacy or self-improvement or like, I'm going to grit my teeth and I'm going to become what. And it's like, there's some level of like, you want to tap into your potential. I understand, but also like, we're spinning on this thing in the middle of we can't even explain. And is the invitation that you're going to go on a journey and prove yourself? Or is it like, hey, you're here, like wake up to the insanity and the beauty of it and go as deep as you want in any direction and play and dance and it's there.
Yeah, this is profound. I love being surprised by these, and I'm also like, it's going too fast. Like I want to marinate on these. So a gut knee jerk reaction. I love the juxtaposition of serious purpose, music, work and play. I love that he's like
just like let's just think about these
he's
more.
blurring a line. And
100%.
What a kindred
Well, even
spirit.
I was thinking, at what point with a musician does it become I'm just tinkering over here?
Yeah.
And this is my profession.
Right. What's
over
the difference?
here.
Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah.
you have to play in order to, and then the lines get blurred.
When does work switch over to play, and is there a difference? Is there like a philosophical difference, or is there just facets of play?
And what
like
does it do to someone when they show up and they go, this is my profession, versus I'm showing up because my duty here, my job here is I'm just playing. Like this is, and so and then just to even call out the fact that it's a secret is such a good way of thinking about it, because I felt crazy, Dave, doing this, where I'm like, why isn't everybody doing this? It doesn't make sense that we grow up. Well, it does to a certain extent. Like it can get knocked out of us. But to be on the side of like, I want to invite people back in to this secret, it's just there for us to get back into. Instead of calling it work, realize it's play. I can imagine someone trying to listen to this instead of watching.
What's happening?
Yeah, I switched the slide. Okay,
going off the road. Fad. I should be ready, but how are you ready for these? This is the axolotl. It's a nudish, salamanderish kind of thing in certain parts of Mexico. It's unbearably cute, I think. And the thing about axolotls is, as far as we know to date, so far, they are the only living thing that can regenerate all parts of themselves. So, like the salamander tail that the sadists among us would pull off and like it grows one back. This can do that with every part of its body, including its spinal column. So literally, you can break an axolotl in half. No, well, that's a good question. If you severed... But I mean, if you had one and you broke its back in half, it would paralyze, and it'd be like, 1 second, and it would grow back.
Just go look it up. We're going to leave that one as it is.
In 1913, Igor Stravinsky debuted his ballet, his musical piece accompanying a ballet, The Rite of Spring, in 1913. And the music, it's a little complex and nuanced. And again, this is an invitation to curiosity. People should go check this out. But at the debut, there was a riot. Like people stormed out of the theater because the art, the music, the cacophony, some of what the art was communicating, it infuriated people. And I think that's fascinating, that art or seeing or hearing something could make you furious. What's the big deal? Like it's just people dancing. But people were like, it was the rhythm, it was the beat, like it drove me insane. And they ran out into the streets, and like the police and firefighters were called at a ballet. Maybe the first and only time.
No questions. Just go do your research.
Rite of Spring, Stravinsky. Wow.
All right.
Oh, come on.
I had to put some Steph Curry in
here.
here.
Sure, why not?
Now, here's the thought on this one. It's actually the effort paradox, and I picked Steph because he literally has a nickname, Steffortless. If you want to just see poetry in motion, just go watch Steph Curry's 50 best shots of his career or something. But I think the effort paradox is this idea that we often admire greatness because we're like, they just make it look so easy. It must have always come so easy to them. But then in reality, it's the amount of time that he's been curious about basketball.
Yes.
The amount of shots he's put up when he wasn't curious about basketball anymore, but he just kept doing it. So and then he has moments like this, right? Like he made both of those shots.
Is this has yet to enter the rim? Yes.
That is correct.
So he's like walking away.
He knows. It's going in, right? And so I looked it up. He takes at least 500 plus shots per day. So you think, Steph just has a knack for where the rim is. Gift. It just goes in. No. Look at this shot. I mean, you got Anthony Davis right there, Zion Williamson right there. Yeah. I mean, those guys are towering over him, and he hits that shot. And it's because of this effort paradox. And it's, to me, why I wanted to include this one too is when you start digging into things and you're like, oh, I'm going to look at this more as play. Yeah. One of the things is you hit frustration because it doesn't come easy. Yeah. Like embedded goodness doesn't mean easy. Good. That's and good. This is, I think, a pretty decent example of that.
I love it. You know about Michelin stars?
I can tell you one thing, Dave. Never eaten at a Michelin star restaurant, but I'm going to Mexico in September, and we're eating at our first Michelin
you've
star.
like booked it? It's going to happen?
That is right.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. When are you going?
Like middle of September.
You must fill this with the experience. Okay, tell me about it.
I will.
We take cohorts of the Center for Play and Exploration to Michelin star restaurants in Manhattan. And interestingly enough, Michelin, same as the tire company.
Yeah.
I just think it's fascinating that the tire company has become the world's expert on finest dining. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't have thought of those two. Yeah, I'd like to know that story. It goes up to 3. It's a range of 0 to 3 Michelin stars. There are only a couple hundred in the world that have reached 3-star status. And Michelin star level restaurants. Just another whole realm, another world to discover and explore and create, to try to, I mean, is this art or food, or where does one stop and the other pick up? What kind of curiosity, work, training, expertise is required to make something like this? I mean, there's just so many facets to it.
When I found this one, I got to tell you.
Photoshopped?
This is not Photoshopped. I immediately had to show my wife. I could not believe. Guess what this is? This is a harmless caterpillar.
I think you've been duped, Benji. There's no way.
So I wish I could have gotten a before and after.
Oh.
But it doesn't look anything like this when you don't bug it. If it's just living its life, it looks like any other caterpillar. And then
it makes itself look like a snake.
Something tries to harm it, and its whole body inflates, and it looks like a viper. It looks like a snake. And it has no fangs. It has no poison, but it will actually like open its mouth like a snake, and it will threaten birds and whatever, prey.
No.
And, these are just casually sitting out there. There is a YouTube short that people can go find if you just look up snake mimic caterpillar, where there's one in the forest, someone finds it and they kind of mess with it so that you actually watch the process. Your mind will be blown.
This is crazy.
The coolest thing I've ever seen.
That is. Oh, I mean, that is it's like an AI image that the world beat us to.
Dave, I'm going to let you have the last word here. Okay. And let's end on this one.
This is a picture of, or a representation of quantum entanglement happening. So the proverbial we, or they, somebody somewhere has discovered, and has not only discovered, but has implemented or done quantum entanglement to other things in the world. One molecule, one thing, split in half. That's like not a miracle. It happens a lot. But when they are quantumly entangled, what happens to one happens to the other instantaneously, irregardless of how far apart they are. So one can be in the studio here with us, and one can be at your house. Or one can be in the studio here with us, and one can be on Venus. And if you dye this one green, the other one instantly turns green. If this one is spinning this way, and you change the direction of its spin, the same thing happens over there. And quantum internet, quantum computing comes from this idea that we could instantly share information like that, irregardless of distance. And so hopefully, you can see. So they're trying it with information, but then this is also, some people would say, the precursor for teleportation. Yeah. If you were quantum entangled and there was another Benji in Texas, you just are there. And it's not sci-fi. It's like, oh no, I think we can do that.
This was so fun.
Yeah, it really was.
We could have gone on. We actually have more slides, but I'm stopping us early because I'm like, we've been going for a while. We're giving you a taste test. I think people get the point.
Yeah.
The whole objective, if you're still, with us at this point, I think it's obvious. It's like rediscovery. Look for what's embedded. It's an invitation to curiosity. It's for those that feel maybe they feel stuck, or even for us, we've talked about reminders, right? There's leaders out there who are just like, something in me just needs to feel that alive again and that invitation again. And I think this is for, the mom at home who's just like, gosh, I'm running around with the kids and I've lost like some level of perspective and like, oh yeah, this is all wonderful. And I love it. I love doing this work with you. So
me too.
If you want, we did create a fun little self-paced rediscovery journal that you can go check out. It's just a 5-day sort of invitation to rediscover. And you can get that. There's a link in the show notes. And we'll be back with more conversations like this, which I'm really excited for. So it's a good world out there. Stay curious.